Welcome back to Misery Sports Co., the open plan office where hope is technically allowed but strongly discouraged by management.
This is where optimism goes to die quietly in a swivel chair. I'm Trevor, overqualified, underwhelmed, and emotionally unionized.
And I'm Zach. We are middle management in a failing sports economy, overseeing fan bases that haven't hit their quarterly goals since the Obama administration.
Each week, we badge in, stare blankly at the scoreboard, and pretend this is all part of a long-term plan.
Last episode, we hopped across a pond to cover West Brom and the never-ending relegations that come with life in English football leagues.
This week, we're back at our desks, staring down another routine performance review of pain. But before that, a message from a sponsor who clearly skipped the onboarding video.
That's right. This next segment is sponsored by Tua's Cold Weather Comfort Blankets, engineered to keep hands warm, spirals loose, and expectations extremely low once the temperature drops to below 40 degrees.
Oof, that's always the book on them. Sorry, Tua.
That was one of my retweets this week. So the Dolphins have an 0-14 losing streak.
Wow.
When the temperature is under 40, and Tua is 0-6 as a starter during that time.
Oh, no. So it really is just a temperature.
It's something. I mean, I hope we play the Dolphins every December in Cleveland at this point.
Seriously.
It's rough.
And it's weird because there's other teams in the South. You would think that other teams would be affected by that, but it's really just them. That's rough. Thanks, Tua, though. That's a good product you're hawking. The blankets, I like that.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Let's get into the weekly performance review, where expectations are managed downward and the numbers are aggressively misread.
This is the meeting that could have been an email, but instead becomes a full emotional postmortem.
And I will start with our weekly performance review of the one and only Cleveland Browns. So the Cleveland Browns played against the Chicago Bears. Shout out to the Bears. They have had a huge turnaround. So they were 5-12 last year. I believe they were 10-4, or might be 10-4 now, after destroying the Browns 31-3. We got dominated. It was -20 wind chill up in Chicago, and the Cleveland Browns played like a team with nothing going for them, and they just wanted to get off the field. So we had about 20 yards rushing. Shadur Sanders wasn't great. He ended up throwing 3 interceptions, one of which was just a complete disaster. He threw a dime to Jerry Jeudy in the end zone, and Jeudy literally handed the Chicago Bears defender the ball in the end zone. It summarizes the Cleveland Browns season so perfectly, in that you do everything right. There's a glimmer of hope right at Misery Sports Co., and then we just give them the ball.
Anytime something goes right, it has to go wrong.
Yeah, and then, I mean, quickly touching Cleveland Cavaliers, they're currently losing as we speak to the Chicago Bulls. Looks like they're going to be 15-13, so nothing good there. Blue Jackets are looking pretty mid, so we'll see what happens with the Buckeyes going into playoff season here soon.
It's exciting times for the Buckeyes. I'm excited to watch some playoff games this weekend.
Yeah, so Trevor, what's it look like on your side?
Equally as disastrous. Titans lose 24-37 at the Niners. We're starting to move into this looks like somewhat competent football phase of building up the hope. So we were the car crash, we lost hope, and now we're starting to play competent enough football to where, oh, this isn't the worst thing to watch. Offensively. Defensively, the Niners did not punt. You're not going to win a game when you don't force a punt. So that was tough. More Cam flashes. The book on him this week was the deep ball kind of came up, and I saw an interesting kind of deep dive article that showed it's really his deep balls outside the numbers that he's having a hard time connecting with receivers and is overthrowing it. And so that's, at least it's just that. because I've lived through quarterbacks where it's like, well, their accuracy on short throws across the middle is bad. And you're like, what are we doing? Like, how can we even build with that? So at least there's hope. He had a pretty good game. The run game's coming back randomly. Pollard had another 100-yard game. And a touchdown, had a nice 22-yard run. Like, it's starting to look like competent football. I really think, Zach, if we just get an average intelligence coach in next year, we can really start to put the pieces back together. And this week, Mike McCarthy, the former Cowboys and Packers coach, is emerging as the odds-on favorite. How do you feel about that hire?
Oh, okay. He is a good offensive mind. I don't love retreads, but out of all the retreads, he is one that can continue to have success.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he's going to crash and burn or lose the locker room. I don't know what that ceiling would be, but he's a solid coach. He's going to coach up Cam Ward.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And I think what this team needs is like somebody who can be stable and boring. And I think he's both of those things. Like, it's not really exciting, but he can build a culture. He's done it before.
Yeah, there were two other things that I saw from the Titans game. Big man Jeffrey Simmons getting that tutty pass.
Got the tutty. And as a fullback, rolls out and somehow gets more open than our receivers do. He had to scramble. But yeah, that was definitely a highlight.
The other play I saw was Cam Ward scrambling for his life, getting an extra couple seconds, throwing a laser beam to a dude that just hit him in the chest, and he just dropped it. It was wide open.
It was like watching a middle school game, because then he drops to his knees and is like, "No, how could I do this?" Like, you play in the NFL. More on that in tweets of the week when we get there. And I will also touch later on the Mavericks. And that's all for my team. I feel like I need to exclude the Stars because they're chugging along. They're kind of a machine. And
we need them, Trevor. We need them to be the anchor in this storm right now.
We do. We do need them. I hope they keep chugging because they're a tank, man, but that division's really tough, so they're doing their thing, and I'm excited to watch the Buckeyes here in a couple weeks and watch some playoff football this weekend.
There we go. Well, the future looks mostly rough. The long-term plans feel theoretical at best, and everyone involved is choosing to forget how we got here.
Before legal tells us to stop talking, let's toss it over to our next sponsor. This next segment of the Misery Sports Company podcast is sponsored by Diego Pavia's Crash Out Companion. Are you about to quit your job because you're fed up with how everyone's treating you and it's just time to let it rip? Well, now you don't have to do that alone with Diego Pavia's Crash Out Companion. Get Diego to come into your work and scream at your boss about how you deserve that raise, even though Bill has better sales and sold in bigger markets and lost fewer sales, and overall is probably a better salesman's story. Diego will yell so hard that people who used to like you will quickly realize that was probably a bad call. You're actually kind of the worst. With Diego Pavia's Crash Out Companion.
Thank you so much, Diego Pavia. Some wild comments after the Heisman ceremony. To be honored like that is just incredible. To be a top 4 person at freaking Vanderbilt. It had echoes, and it brought me back to a terrible time with Johnny Manziel. Like, I'm getting the same vibe from him. He's into the party. He's very small. He makes stuff happen. I don't know. We're gonna have to keep an eye on him in the NFL because it could crash and burn.
And even Johnny came out and was like, I think Diego took it too far, and when you are put in that position, you really need to reflect on what's going on, because that's not great. That's not great. All right, well, let's move into the mailroom where logic goes to get lost, and the complaints are handwritten in all caps.
That's right. These tweets were not screened, reviewed, or approved by anyone with a pulse.
First up, I have a tweet that actually references that exact play that you were talking about, Zach, and I have it here for your review in case you've forgotten how painful it is. And this is from Brett Coleman, who says, every Titans clip I see is just Cam Ward fighting off a pack of wolves all by himself, throwing up the most gorgeous ball you've ever seen, and then his receiver having the hand-eye coordination of the guy from Quap, which is a meme computer game that we all played where you tried to run a 100-meter dash using the Q, W, O, and P keys and was just terrible. So that's it feels like every game. Like, there goes Cam, hits a wide open guy, and oops, that guy forgot how to play football.
Yeah, I like his ability to buy time, right? So he's scrambling, he's buying enough time, his receivers are getting open, he's throwing to like the Washington like generals of receivers right now. So again, we'll see what next year has, free agency, draft. I'm not focused on the numbers, I'm focused on Cam Ward and what he's been doing.
Yeah. Yep. And enough to keep building. And do I trust this front office to put together a competent receiver room? I don't know. I'd feel a lot better if we had Carnell Tate in there, but we'll see. We'll see. But certainly my tweet of the week, I don't know if you've been following the James Madison sports news account online, but they have been tweeting.
I have not.
They've been going off because JMU's game against Oregon is coming up in the playoff, and this account has just been striking gold because they're basically very tongue-in-cheek talking trash about it. And it's been great. And this tweet from a few days ago says, Texas Tech, who the winner of JMU and Oregon has to play in the quarterfinal. Texas Tech is one of the best teams in the country. That defense is scary good. JMU football has to consider resting some of its banged up starters against Oregon. The Dukes need all hands on deck in the quarterfinals. And so just very serious, self-aware tweets like that all week. If you haven't checked out the JMU Sports News account, definitely go give it a follow. They are my tweet of the week.
That's awesome. Saturday night, Oregon and JMU. Huge underdogs. Huge.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. But they, I've been a big proponent. Teams can earn the right to go get their butts kicked, and JMU earned the right to go get their butt kicked. Like Florida State should have a few years ago. I'm still mad about that.
No doubt. Completely agree with you on that. Taking a look at my tweets of the week, my bag was a little empty this week, Trevor. So I came across a few Browns tweets, which typically I try to jump out of the Browns sphere with this. I'm not even going to cover one of them because it talked about Deshaun Watson starting for us next year, and I'm going to lose my ever-loving mind.
No.
But there was one from brownsnation.com, and it was Tony Rizzo of ESPN Cleveland. So Tony Rizzo is one of those like radio guys, right?
Oh, I love him.
He likes to stir the pot. I'll say that much.
Yeah, he does.
He says he's hearing the Browns are leaning towards taking a QB in the 2026 draft. Trevor, I can't. I literally can't. The only caveat is if somehow we get to the number one pick, right? We're at 3 wins. There's a couple teams, including the Titans, at 2 wins.
Right.
If we somehow backpedaled into the number one pick, then we can have that conversation. Yeah. There are so many holes on this team, just like the Titans on offense.
So many.
We got to be drafting receivers, linemen, Tony Rizzo. Shut your mouth. I ain't listening to that garbage.
Not trying to hear that right now.
So that's it. That's everything I got today.
Yeah, if they have the top pick, I agree. Then you can have the conversation. But until then, it doesn't make sense to think about taking a second or third quarterback off the board or using any draft capital to try and move up for that.
Well, and there's no like huge generational prospects, right? I mean, Ben Roethlisberger, Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers in that one draft. Like, it's not one of those drafts. It's not a draft where like, you can just go out there and be like, yeah, one of these three quarterbacks is going to be an absolute stud. I mean, Mendoza's okay, but when you look at Mendoza's stats versus even like Joe Burrow, Joe Burrow almost has, I think he had double. I think Mendoza's in the 30s in touchdowns. Joe Burrow had 60.
Jeez.
60 touchdowns, 6,000 yards. Mendoza has 3,000 yards, which is solid for an Indiana team. Yeah. But he's not one that's like, oh, can't miss him,
Right.
So.
Yeah. Now, I will say, I hope other teams feel differently, because when the Titans get the top pick, I need those picks. Come on up and get Mendoza. I think he's gonna
hyping.
I think he's gonna win several championships personally. All aboard the Mendoza train for sure. Well, good. It's time to pause for another sponsor before the mailroom floods again, and before we head over to our Office of Moral Victories.
That's right, Trevor. Trevor, have you ever experienced public backlash, national embarrassment, your basketball coach slapping an opposing assistant coach, your football coach spiraling out of control in a very public psychosis that ends in jail time, and you still kept your job? Then you might be entitled to Ward Manuel's Outlast Everyone executive plan, the only program that guarantees everyone else will get fired first.
It's incredible. He's like a corporate cockroach, man.
It's
amazing.
There was a tweet out there. I think it was 11 of their coaches have been like arrested for something in the last couple years. It's like, what?
Oh my gosh. It's crazy. There's ones that I didn't even know about. I was talking to my dad about this, and he's like dropping like, oh yeah, did you hear about the hockey, this hockey coach or this whatever? I'm like, I can't keep up with all these firings and scandals, and it's all under one person. It's incredible.
I will always be a certified Michigan hater. I will respectfully cover them when that comes, whenever that time comes. But like, come on. Come on, man.
What are we doing here?
Just, yeah. But we'll take your money. Thank you for the sponsorship.
Yeah, thank you so much for sponsoring. It's nice that you had time in your day to think about how can you get some good pub.
That's right. Now it's time for Moral Victories, the segment where we reward effort over results and vibes over reality.
These are the moments we cling to when the standings say, don't bother.
My employee of the week goes to Cam Spencer of the Memphis Grizzlies. And if you're wondering, who is Cam Spencer? That would be a very fair question. So Cam Spencer is averaging 12 points a game on the season, shooting 51% from three on the season. That's pretty dope.
Gracious.
He went a little crazy against the Los Angeles Clippers. So Cam went off for 27 points, 7 for 10 from 3-point range, 69% field goal range or field goal percentage. Nice. And his true shooting percentage was 97%.
Very googly moogly.
60 to 65% is like really good. 97 is ridiculous. And there's actually a video of him, if you look on Twitter, he hits a three and he starts screaming, "You have to get him off of me." So imagine this white dude named Cam Spencer going off against the Clippers and beating them. And it really ties into the Clippers as well, being 6-20 at this point, Trevor. It's insane.
You hate to see it. Poor Clippers. All right, I just Googled him. He's the most unassuming dude I've ever seen. You're telling me this guy has all those stats that you just said? Cam Spencer, did I get the name right?
I looked at some of his advanced stats. On the year, his true shooting percentage is 72%. So what they do is they take your 3-point percentage and they bump it up a little bit because it's 1.5 of the 2 points, right? And so again, 60% like true shooting percentage is good. 72% is nuts. Well done, Cam Spencer.
Absolutely well done. I saw a tweet this week that said Cam Spencer seems like the first kid who grew up watching Steph Curry and was like, yep, I want to do that. And I remember reading that tweet and going, I don't know who Cam Spencer is. Next, just scrolled on, and now you're telling me he's doing all this stuff, and that seems great. And I love the swag too. Give him some chirps. Yell back. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like that a lot. My employee of the week actually will stay in-house and goes to Dallas Maverick rookie Cooper Flagg, who this week became the only 18-year-old in NBA history to score 40 points in a game when he scored 42 the other night in a losing effort, but still scored 42, which was cool. He have a tweet here. He is fifth. He was the fifth fastest to have a 40-point game. Wilt did it in his first game, so his number is 1. And then Kareem, Michael, Oscar all did it in less than 15 games. Cooper, it took 26. And just to give everybody some context for where folks are recently, LeBron, it took 69. Nice. And Steph and Kevin Durant were both at 80 games. So early on, it looked like Cooper Flagg was very hesitant, but he was just, I think, kind of learning the ropes. Mm-hmm. Our favorite wide-eyed, bespeckled coach, Jason Kidd, was having him play a lot of point guard, which I think he was, it was tough for him. He kind of was put in a bad spot because Jason Kidd didn't want to play D'Angelo Russell fair. And it just he was in a bad way. But recently, his highlights have looked great. He's very decisive. He's always going to try really hard on defense. And I think they're going to mess around and get in the play-in, which is so dumb. That's the last place you want to be. This is our only year. No, I don't want to ride. Oh, but we'd have Kyrie back by then, so maybe I do want to ride. Maybe I do want to see what happens.
It's phenomenal. I'm super happy for the Mavs. I hate Nico. Fuck Nico. But I'm super happy for the Mavs. I'm loving what I'm seeing out of Cooper. And again, just like you said, when someone like Kyrie comes back and can just take a little bit of the attention away from Cooper so he can kind of operate and do his own thing, that's only going to benefit him. I mean, he did, like you said, 40 plus points when you're really the only option at this point. Like there's not somebody that's demanding the ball. Anthony Davis is in and out. So congrats to Cooper, man. Great start to the season.
Yeah, good job, Cooper. We're happy for you here.
Please enjoy your recognition. There will be no raise, no banner, and no follow-up. All right, it is deep dive time. This is where we roll up our sleeves, ignore context, and emotionally profile an entire fan base.
That's right. This week, Zach, I wanted to pick a team. I wanted to pick a college team because 'tis the season. We're getting into bowl season. We're getting into playoff season. I was at a Christmas party this week and was talking to a fan of a program that was once one of the best programs in the land, still has an incredible history behind it, and has just been bad. And it's a fan base that is just dying for good football and is one of those brands that, as much as it pains you to say, the sport is better when they're good. Some programs like that. I really can't stand Notre Dame. I love you, Notre Dame fans. If you're here, thank you. But I can't stand that program in general. I do think college football is better when Notre Dame is good. I also can't stand USC. I really wish USC was better than they are. I think the sport's better when they're good. So I have a team that's been down since, I would say, their last, in my research of what the fans are going through, they all point to 2009 as the last time they were relevant and when things fell off the cliff? Do you have guesses for this team?
And we're talking football.
Correct.
I
will also tell. Yep.
Would have been like Florida, so I'm gonna say Florida with Tim Tebow.
It's a very good guess. They are struggling too. I wanted to pick a program that I thought about picking like somewhere like Purdue, but they have a really good basketball team. Like they're a basketball school. Their fans have had something. I picked a school that is known for football supposedly and has not had good football since then. They are members of the Big Ten. We have had some close road games there in the past. We've lost one not too long ago. I am, of course, talking about the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Nebraska.
So Nebraska has been in a stretch. I was talking to this guy who's very nice. He is from Nebraska. And so when he heard that I was a Buckeye, that's pretty much because we were at a party for our wives. And so they all had work to talk about. And so it was like we clocked each other like sports. And then we talked for like half an hour. And super nice guy, but just seemed miserable. Now, I will say, quick caveat, Nebraska has a really good basketball team this year. I don't think they've lost yet.
Oh, yeah, they're cooking.
Yeah, yep. They just beat Illinois at the buzzer. Like they've got a great team, but usually not. He told me that they've never won a tournament game. Nebraska has never won a tournament game. Yeah, isn't that crazy?
That's hard to comprehend.
I have not fact checked this man that I met, but I will say he's a surgeon, so I was inclined to take him at his word. But yeah, they've never won, so he's really excited about that, which is great. But I asked him, like, when was the last time that you feel like Nebraska was, relevant and good and in the conversation? And it goes back to 2009. Zach, I remember watching this game in college in our dorm room against Texas. It was the 2009 Big 12 championship against Texas, aka 1 second left. This was Ndamukong Suh's senior year, which if you're ever bored and just want to, watch some incredible football, go watch highlights from his senior year, because this dude was destroying people. He almost single-handedly won that game. But Nebraska was up by a point or two. Texas was within field goal range, but it was going to be a long field goal. The clock is ticking. They decide to run a play, and they roll out to their right. I think Colt McCoy is there, right? I think this is the Colt McCoy team, because they go on to get beat in the national championship, even though Colt gets hurt. And they roll out to the right. There's nothing there. The seconds are ticking down. 5, 4. Colt throws it. 3, 2, 1. And actually, all the time comes off the clock. Nebraska starts celebrating. They've just won. They've knocked off the number 3 team in the nation. They're ranked 22 at the time. And the clock hits 000. The refs blow the whistle because we've just recently introduced video review to college football. So now they can go back and look at this, and I'll be darned, that ball hits the turf on the sideline with 1 second left. Their coach at the time is an all-timer. He's a beaut. Bo Pelini is just, he's great for the sport.
Psycho?
Yes. He's so great for the sport. Gosh. And so he's not happy. His face turns all kinds of shades of red. Texas gets a 1 second left, and they end up kicking a long field goal. They win the game. They go to the championship and get blown out.
I'd like
because
to add,
Colt McCoy
Trevor.
gets hurt. Yes.
We at Misery Sports Co., Zach and Trevor, in a previous life, were referees for an intramural college championship where this same exact thing happened.
Yes,
we did not have video replay as the referees, and we did our job and we gave them an extra play. So
yes,
I understand what those refs were going through.
Yes. So yeah, you were the only one. You were the one with the game clock in the corner of the end zone. And it was the last play, and it's beeping, and you're waving your hands, and you're like, we got 1 second. We got 1 second. Or like, let's go 1 second. And to their credit, they all rolled with it. It was the right call. It was the right call.
It was. Yep.
We were very good at that. I think in another reality, we're like NFL refs on the same team. I think we would be great.
I mean,
refs.
It doesn't take much. If you saw the Lions and the Rams review,
Oh my
holy cow.
Gosh, dude.
That was horrible.
Seriously.
We could be refs. We could be refs.
We could be the
no
top refs, I think.
Oh yeah.
I think
No
we'd
doubt.
be doing every Super Bowl. They would get mad that it's not rotating. And so after that, everything has fallen off. But so I wanted to give a quick recap because I talk about this a lot because I'm not a miserable fan who has a lot of support for my really bad team. Nobody cares about the Titans. We're not packing the stadium every week and, screaming and having a good time regardless of the result. Like, Nashville is not interested in the Titans until they prove they have a winning product. Nebraska has a sellout streak of like 370 something games. Allegedly, it's kind of disputed a little bit, but like they're selling out Memorial Stadium every game because those fans, first of all, you're in Nebraska. What else you got going on? And I mean that with all due respect. With all due respect.
As much respect as Misery Sports Co. can give you.
Yes, which isn't a lot, but we've got a little bit of it. They probably don't have a lot going on, and so they pack it out. So just a quick overview of Nebraska and kind of where things stood. They have 3 championships on record. The 97 one they shared with Michigan, but they won 3 national championships in the 90s. They were dominant, and it was running a lot of option offense, which I personally think is beautiful football. I think it always has reminded me of like ocean waves because you have all these different levels going on. I love watching option football. And they were physical, and they had an incredible defense. So you've heard them called the black shirts, and that was a tradition from the 60s of, they had these black kind of penny pullovers that the defense would wear, and it became a point of pride. And so they became known as the black shirts. And just an incredible success under Coach Tom Osborne in the 90s. He retires in 1997, so goes out on top. What a champ, is amazing. Frank, I should know how to say this. Solich, I don't know.
Solich, yep.
He keeps things going, relatively competitive. But then, guess who takes over as the head coach in 2004?
Before Pelini?
Yeah, right before. So between Solich and Pelini is sandwiched 4 years of a character that we can't get us to leave us alone, and has sponsored. He has sponsored the show before.
Oh my goodness. 04. Golly. I can't get it.
It is none other than Bill Callahan.
You're right.
We just can't get rid of him. We can't get rid of him. So Frank Solich's last year gets Nebraska up to 10th at one point in the AP poll. The best Bill Callahan does in his 4 years is 14, and that's in his last year at one point. But it's very early on because they go 5-7, and Nebraska is like, thank you so much, Bill. Why don't you try the offensive line thing? And I think that's going to work well for you. You can probably make some money. Enter Bo Pelini. enter one of the most wheels-off coaches college football has ever seen. Throws some of the most incredible sideline tantrums. A sideline referee's nightmare in Bo Pelini.
Yeah.
But passionate about the game and passionate about his players. A lot of the stories I found on YouTube, I could not play for us because they're very inappropriate. And there's nothing really to beep. It's just not a great story. But the themes of the stories I heard about Bo Pelini is that he would always circle back and be like, hey man, sorry about that. Like, I know I called you a word that we no longer use in 2025 and yesterday, but I feel bad about that and just want to apologize. So he did circle back. So Bo Pelini has goes 9-4 in his first season, then 10-4, 10-4, 9-4, 10-4. Bo Pelini never wins fewer than 9 games. He gets Nebraska up to 8th in 2011 after getting them up to 5th in 2010. So this is competitive football. These are good teams.
Yeah.
Recruiting well, putting a good product out there. And I do have a quick Bo Pelini clip, just so we can have some fun. Let me play this clip. This is a very brief halftime interview as he's walking off.
Coach, what was your reaction to the 2 early interceptions?
Well, what do you think? What kind of question is that?
And then he just runs off like, you idiot. What do you think I think about that? What a character.
Goodness.
But this is a case where administration and definitely fans, there's pressure from the fans of saying winning 9 or 10 games is not enough for us. We have 3 championships in the 90s. It is 2013, 2014 at this point. This is not the guy that can get it done for us. We have to move on. And that ends up being a terrible, terrible decision because they have not, excuse me, after Bo Pelini, they have not had a season where they finished in the top 25. They have not had, they had a 9-win season in 2016. Since 2016, the most games they have won is 7. So the grass was not greener on the other side. They, I think, moved on from Bo Pelini. They just got impatient and decided to move on. When really sometimes it's like, do we have a plan in place or know somebody that's going to take us over the hump? Or are we getting rid of a coach just because we're impatient?
Do you know where Bo Pelini played football? He was a football player.
I do not know where Bo Pelini played football.
Bo Pelini played football at the Ohio State University.
What did he play? What position was he?
He played free safety from 87 to 1990.
Hell yeah.
Bo
Pelini just roaming the back down the field, roaming the outfield like that. God, I love that.
Yeah, because Luke Fickell came in the 90s, and I think Vrabel was around the same time. I wonder if Mike Vrabel played with him. I don't know. I'll look it up. But yeah, Bo Pelini, none other than Ohio State.
Dang, what a treat. Won several bowl games. Just they moved on too quick. So they go to Mike Riley. I have nothing to say about the Mike Riley years. Boring. But then they get Scott Frost. So Scott Frost has gone undefeated at UCF. He is a former Nebraska quarterback. This is it. Like, this is the guy. It's a homecoming. It's going to change everything. We get Scott Frost in here. And Scott Frost is not it. He's just not it. The most wins Scott Frost has in a season is 5. And they have the famous 2021 season where they go 3-9. And every single one of those losses is by one possession. They were in every game, including, I'm sorry, all of them but the Ohio State. The Ohio State one, we were on the road. It was with CJ Stroud, and we ended up winning by 9, but it was close. It was a 6-point game for a very long time. They kicked a field goal towards the end, but Nebraska was absolutely in that game. So the misery of knowing like you're so close, you're in these games, but you can't close it out.
Yeah. And that was right around the time too, where Nebraska went from the Big 12 to the Big 10. So I think it was like 2011 when they ended up going to the Big 10, and it just didn't, you went from a play style in the Big 12 where it was like air raid, Texas Tech, Oklahoma, we're going to like score 50 points to you're now in a cage,
Yes.
fight. And I was just looking like they were with Michigan and Michigan State in the Legends division, which deserves its own deep dive. So it just never worked out for Nebraska, and it hasn't in the Big Ten.
It hasn't. We are in year 3 of Matt Rule, who went 7-5, and from talking to this guy at the party and kind of looking around online, it seems like fans think that Matt Rule is worth giving time to because they saw what impatience does with Bo Pelini and moving on. So Nebraska fans, you are suffering. We're here for you, and we hope that things turn around because in this guy's view, the sport is better with a good Nebraska team.
Absolutely. And I wonder too, like, is it a resource thing? Because just recently their star quarterback Dylan Raiola is now in the transfer portal. Ohio State have recruited him. He was the number 1 quarterback coming out of high school. Like, I'm pulling for Nebraska. I think that they've got the history, they've got the support, so we'll see.
Hope it works out for you.
We shall see. And that concludes the deep dive. Any complaints can be filed in triplicate and immediately ignored.
Let's hear from another sponsor who didn't do their homework and invested with us anyways. This next segment of the Misery Sports Podcast is brought to you by Tiny Tim's Bowl Pick Hotline. Hey, you're bad at picking bowl games, right? You've finished last 3 years in a row in your family pool. You always end up picking who you want to win, and it's never right. At this point, you might as well let a small, hobbled 8-year-old do it, and now you can. Just call the hotline, pay the small $39.99 fee, and hear Tiny Tim's takes on this year's epic bowl games like the Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl. Here's a free one. He loves NC State with Tiny Tim's Bowl Pick Hotline.
Thank you, Tiny Tim. I needed you in college. I feel like we spent in just ridiculous amount of time on these bowl picks, and we thought, we know what's going to happen, and we just never got it right. Never.
No, I'm at the point now where I just pick who I'm comfortable with rooting for. Picks be damned.
Right.
I got my own kids beating me in picks. My daughter picks because she likes the colors, and I'm losing to her right now. So I'm in a great place.
Let them live.
Well, somehow we've reached Pep Talks, our weekly attempt to convince ourselves things aren't terminal.
And that's right. My pep talk goes to the fans of James Madison and Tulane.
Hey.
So JMU and Tulane are going to be playing playoff games in the college football playoff bracket. James Madison plays Oregon Saturday night at 7:30, and Tulane plays Ole Miss Saturday afternoon at 3:30 p.m. Both are crazy underdogs. As I see it, Oregon is 21-point favorites. Ole Miss is 17.5. JMU, Tulane, you're a shining star in this story of the college football season. We're pulling for you. We're rooting for you, and you never know what could happen in a single game on a single day. Let's try to get an upset here. Let's go to Oregon. Let's shake some things up. I'd like to see JMU's Twitter feed for another week. So.
The internet is not prepared for that if they pull this off. It wouldn't have been great if if that like Boise State Oklahoma game back in the day had been a playoff game and Boise State got to move on from that.
Dude.
It would have
That
been so
nuts.
fun. Yeah. I hope they can pull something like that off. Good luck to them. Good luck to them. Oh, well, that's a bold stance and is definitely correct. I love that stance. My pep talk goes to the Stranger Things kids. What are they like? 36, 37 at this point? We talk about long seasons of sports. You all have had 9 long years of slogging through being on this show, and it's finally wrapping up. We are in season 5. They've somehow convinced us that dropping it in 3 parts is a good idea. So we're doing that. But hey, you guys, Stranger Things kids, you're almost done. You're almost released from this hell, and you can move on with your life and do other things, and hopefully become known for something else and be released from this. Thank you for sharing the last, what feels like 3 decades of your life with us, and best of luck. I think some of you are expecting grandchildren, and thank you for sharing your time with us.
I'm so glad you brought this up, Trevor. Just for the viewers out there, if this is your first time listening to the show, we have no idea what we're going to put out there, what Trevor's sponsors are, what his pep talk is. I just sat down this week and started the what is it, 5th season?
Yeah.
And I'm like, how am I supposed to, how old are these people? I literally looked it up. They're like mid-20s in high school. And I'm like, we couldn't move the plot a little further and be like, hey, they're in college. Like,
it's at least distractingly bad. It's so bad. Yeah.
It's really bad. And love the series.
Yeah.
This is
good.
bad.
It is. Poor Will. It looks like they're dressing him up in like little kid clothes. Like, just.
He's talking to a little kid. His sister's like legitimately in high school. And it's like, you couldn't cast this. We couldn't say, oh, they're in college now. It's a little different. Like,
yep, we're fast forwarding a few years. Nope, they have to be in school. That's why I'm pepping them up. Yep, I'm pepping them up. Great. You rolled with it. Thank you for rolling with it. Yep. Go live your life.
Take some of my Netflix subscription money right off into the sunset.
Jeez.
That's another week at Misery Sports Co. Please remember to log your despair at miserysportsco.com before logging off.
Follow us on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Pocket Casts. We're everywhere. Tweet us. Tell us which franchise ruined your weekend plans.
We'll be back with more takes, more spreadsheets, and another fan base begging for mercy.
Until then, close the laptop, stare into the middle distance, and remember,
you're not alone. Everyone else is miserable too.